Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Business Talks. Today, we are going to go through the text messages of Terrence Bradley and Ashley Merchant. These text messages, I believe it or not, launched this whole hearing in Michael's Roman claim to disqualify Fani Willis and Nathan Wade from the Trump case, and they want to actually get the case dismissed because of their inappropriate or improprieties of their relationship. Okay, so Terrence Bradley, of course, he was called up on the stand as a witness, and he didn't want to be there. And they tried to, Terrence Bradley and his lawyers tried to invoke attorney-client privilege between the information he received from Nathan Wade and himself, but that didn't go over well. They went behind these closed door proceedings with the judge, and the judge narrowed it down to certain conversations that he was not able to share that actually falls under the attorney-client privilege. Okay, so ultimately, he had to testify to some questions or answer some questions he did not want to answer. So he decided that he's going to say he did not recall the information or did not remember any of the information that he shared with Ashley Merchant. So Ashley Merchant, her or one of the staff, was bold enough to release these text messages to the public because I believe that she was thinking like, man, I got all this information from Terrence Bradley. He was so willing and open to talk to me, even though you could tell she was fishing for the information. She didn't want to look as like she was lying to the public. So they end up releasing these text messages. Okay, so there's about 30 pages or so of the text messages. So we'll review those tonight. Okay. And as the courts stand right now, Judge McAfee, he said he's going to take a couple of weeks to make a ruling. So they did their final arguments today. I believe Trump's side presented valid arguments and not so much Fani Willis' side. Okay, so we'll talk about that more today on another episode of Business Talk.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad.
You guys put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. Put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. Let's see who we have in the building. Thank you, Noble Young, for tuning in once again. We have Lenny Malley in the building, Carmelo Ortiz, Stacy White from Chicago, Angela Jordan, Stephen Nimley. Thank you for tuning in. Lenny Malley says they are all guilty. And I agree. They all lying. They all was lying on the stand. I couldn't believe it. Like they just was lying. This was kind of crazy today. If you tuned in earlier, I was able to stream the court proceedings today and the final arguments. Like I mentioned before, Trump's team actually did a really good job in presenting the evidence. Their closing arguments was pretty strong. Everyone went through the bullet points of why they think they should disqualify, why does this impropriety is actually messes up the case, the way it is viewed in the public. all the things that they were trying to get the case dropped. Okay, so I believe they presented a strong argument. However, the prosecuting team was on the lacking. The guy that they decided to give him the responsibilities to do the closing argument, I mean, he failed miserably. This is my own personal opinion, but it was very brutal to watch. Very brutal. I don't understand why they chose this guy. I believe they should have chose Anna Cross. Anna Cross was not in the courtroom today. Let me just pull up a little snippet of it. Like I said, it was very, very brutal to watch. And if I was Fani Willis, because Fani Willis actually came in the courtroom, and what is the guy's Nathan Wade, he was actually there. He wouldn't have been my first choice. And Fani Willis looked, at one point, she looked pretty perturbed with his argument. Let me just share this with you. And this is just a snippet how he was fumbling and, over his argument. He was using the word a lot. I think he was pretty nervous, but you think he would have practiced his closing arguments? I don't know. I don't understand. And then they were allotted 75 minutes. Now, Trump's team, they divided the minutes up, and I can't just say Trump team because it was several. He has 18 defendants, but I think 4 of them decided to join in on this claim. So several of them, other lawyers, they divided the time. So it was like 4 or 5 of them. Ashley Merchant didn't do any closing arguments. Her husband did. So they divided up 75 minutes between 4 or 5 of them. And then one of them came back with a rebuttal statement after this guy was talking. And just listen to him. I'm just going to play a snippet of it.
And Ms. Willis alone, other than her 2 daughters who would occasionally visit that home until after February of 2021. But what precipitated the soon move of Ms. Willis to what I would reference as safe houses for her protection was a protest that occurred before her home in February of 2021. He then expressed to the court that Ms. Willis moved in the spring of 2021, and that due to these threats that were taken very seriously, he had only seen his child 13 times. He said, in reference to the questions by defense counsel that were in a, and I'm just going to be straight up with the court, they were trying to make Ms. Willis a liar, what is how I would submit to the court, in the sense that she testified that she was concerned for her safety and her family's safety, which included her father and her daughters, and that Mr. Floyd remaining in that home kind of rebutted all of that, made it so it wasn't true. But he testified that he stayed in the home because it was a home that she had put her blood, sweat, and tears in and was able to buy, and that he stayed in the home because there was constant officer presence. He told the court that he bought extra security equipment. He even went as far to tell the court that he slept in different rooms on different nights because he felt his safety.
Okay, so he's going through what the dad did, but do you understand how many times he used the word Now I use the word but it's like he like, dude, how many times are you going to use the word And then at one point of the argument, The judge had to help him out. So are you saying that if you think of it as this, and he started bringing out scenarios, and the guy was, I don't know what this guy's name is. He was like, yeah, I agree with that, or I disagree with that. It was like really wild. And just imagine listening to this guy for about an hour and 30 minutes, or hour and I think 75 minutes, hour and 15 minutes. So it was very brutal. And as I mentioned before he got to the stand, you see Fani is there. She looks dialed up. She kind of looked rested. I don't know how much rest you get as a lawyer, but she kind of looks rested. But she had her brassiere on. Nothing was hanging over or anything. She did have, her stuff in the right places. So somebody probably told her, go get some sleep. You're going to get on camera and you don't need to look a hot mess. So she looked kind of put together, which I'm glad she got herself together, because before she was not representing any woman at all. She looked horrible. Anyway, the closing arguments for their team was a great debacle. He spent the first 45 minutes citing cases. He didn't present any of the evidence or go over any of the evidence or refute any of the evidence. And that's one thing that Michael Roman and the other side, or the defendants, presented. They specifically talked about how when they did the investigation, remember last week we talked about the text messages and the geospatial location. And two of the geospatial locations, how they narrowed it down, where Nathan Wade was not moving at one point. This is prior to Nathan Wade being hired. And they found out Nathan Wade was at this location. He was not moving, and he stayed at this location overnight. And the defense argued that the prosecuting team never refuted that part of the evidence. They never refuted it. They never refute no part of the evidence where he stayed overnight. So one thing the prosecutor or the defendant's attorneys mentioned, that they kept on pinpointing this relationship when they started having, the sexual relationship. But they never said anything about, hey, we were in an intimate relationship. Well, they didn't define it as a booty call, as a relationship. Okay, so that's one thing the defense presented. Very valid argument, though. You could say, oh, we were in a relationship because we quote unquote said we were in a relationship, but that doesn't mean you wasn't doing grown things prior to you naming yourself as an item or a couple. Another thing that they presented, why was it so secret? No one knew about the relationship. So, like I said, the defense presented very good arguments, very strong arguments, but not so much the prosecuting team. Now, let's get into some of the messages. You guys, before I get into some of the messages, I want to share, just pay my thanks and gratitude to some people, because I do see, when you send me, of course, I highlight the super chats on stream when we're live, but when people send me, what is it called? What is that called? Cash App. My brain fart. When people send me Cash App, I don't necessarily see it right away. So I do want to highlight a couple of people that sent me Cash App, and I really appreciate it. Let me see. So I want to say thank you to these people, Rolanda and Michael Edwards. They sent me some a Cash App this past couple of days. So I really appreciate every single one of you, even the ones who are the channel subscribers. I appreciate all of you, even if you don't have any money. I appreciate the likes and the comments. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's get back to what we're talking about. Okay, so this other what is it, slide? It's like a slideshow because I tried to put the text messages in some type of order. Let me see if it'll let me do it. Okay. Okay, there it is. You guys can't see it. Let me see if I can make this bigger. I was trying to share it, but it's still thinking about. Yeah, it's still churning. Okay. So this is what I found on the internet. Actually, I found it on Twitter. There was a guy that I follow. He actually put this out here. Okay. And these text messages start back in September. And this is Ashley Merchant. And so the Ashley Merchant is in the green, and the gray text is Terrence Bradley. Okay. She goes to say, so the FCDA Open Records is saying that they don't have an original contract for when Nathan Wade began work. They only have his renewal contract. Is that possible? And so she attached the records, open records requests. Okay, this was back in September the 14th. And Terrence Bradley says, wow. And Ashley Merchant says, they're stalling big time. And Terrence says, yes, they are. Okay, so I'm assuming they're trying to find Ashley back in September. She's trying to find, okay, when was Nathan Wade actually hired? Okay, so I think after that, remember, after she ended up finding the actual records, remember they leaked that Nathan Wade actually divorced his wife or filed for the actual divorce the day after he got hired as special prosecutor. Anyway, this is on September the 18th. It says, any idea who I could get an affidavit from on the affair? And Terrence Bradley responds, no, no one would freely burn that bridge. And so Ashley says, okay. If Chris was asked under oath, would he know? Terrence says no. She says, wow, I figured he would. I didn't expect them to be so careful. He knows, but he won't admit it. So this is on September the 18th. So apparently prior to that, Terrence Bradley told Ashley about the affair. Okay. And you notice Ashley is using the word affair. Okay. So some people are saying, oh, they just having, it's two grown people in a relationship. Well, and right now, as it stands, Nathan Wade is still married. So whoever he sleeps with, it still will be the affair. He needs to close. I mean, you've been out of, I guess you claimed that you was in a unreconcilable marriage since 2016. Dude, that's almost 9 years. You need to close that chapter, dude. If we really think the statement is true, we don't know. We really don't know. We won't know that unless they ever get his wife on the stand. Okay. So Terrence Bradley says, now Chris, I forgot to tell you, Chris is the business partner. All three of them is Chris, Nathan, and Terrence. They all started a law firm together, or, came together and started a law firm. And now it's just Chris and Nathan. Okay. They're not, since Terrence got kicked out because of whatever, it's just Chris and Nathan. Okay. Now, Ashley Merchant says, now it jumps quite a bit because there's missing texts. So I'm assuming those will be leaked eventually, but these are the missing texts. Remember, yesterday, I believe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, Ashley Merchant said she did not submit her whole text messages into the evidence because the prosecuting team act like they didn't want to see them or they didn't really care about them. I'm assuming that they thought the judge wasn't going to admit her text messages as evidence, and he did. So anyway, so she submitted it the day of they re-questioned Terrence Bradley. Last trip was this summer, May or June. Terrence Bradley says, no, I don't know. I was gone by then. Don't surprise me. They took many trips to Florida, Texas. And Ashley said Napa Valley or in Napa, California. Yep. So they're just going back and forth, one word in it, Terrence says she moved her daughter there. And I'm assuming this is Texas or California because California was the last place they talked about, right? I can't believe they were so carefree. I am trying to anticipate her response when I blow this up. And then Terrence goes to say her daughter flunked out of FAMU and moved to Cali. Remember the lawyer? I don't know what the guy's name. You guys know what the lawyer name was who was doing all the and the ahs? What was the guy name? He mentioned this. He said he thought it was uncivil for them to bring up her daughter flunking out of school because she didn't really flunk out of school. It was lies. Well, and then he said she actually graduated. Well, she probably did flunk out of that school, so she probably gonna have to go to another school. I don't know. So he said their daughter actually graduated. And he thought it was unprofessional for them to bring that up. Now that's, they just bringing out all the information. Let me get to some of your chats. Now I'm saying Lenny, you saying I think Fani Willis most threatened him with the cattle pro, the way he said Fani was like, boy, if you don't read this sentence right. Hey Lexi, good seeing you again. Yeah, so I believe that the whole thing with what the guy saying the I think he was nervous, really, to tell you the truth. I really think he was nervous. That's what I'm gonna go with. He was nervous. Okay. What page am I on? I'm on page 5. Now, Ashley Merchant says they had a full-on relationship. It's insane, just insane. Look at her. She trying to amp Terrence up to give her more information. But you guys got to remember, Terrence Bradley, Ashley Merchant, and Nathan Wade, they're friends. Remember, they brought, and actually Fani Willis brought this up, Ashley Merchant campaigned or co-signed or endorsed Nathan Wade for a judge, a judgeship seat that he was running for. Okay. Terrence Bradley said he went to help her move. So Ashley goes, why she would hire him is insane. And Terrence like, yes. Like, just date. Don't hire him. Do you think it started before she hired him? Terrence goes, absolutely. That's his response. It started when she left the DA's office and went and was judge in South Fulton. Oh, he liked it. Started when she liked that text. I don't know why that shows that up like that. They met at the municipal court conference. Ashley goes, that's what I figured when he was married. Is this accurate? Upon information and belief, Willis and Wade met while both were serving as magistrate judges and began a romantic relationship at the time. No, municipal courts. And she says, thank you. But you can't put where they met. Not many people know that. Remember, this is crazy. Remember when Terrence Bradley was testifying, he said he had no personal knowledge when they started their relationship. But according to this text, it sounds like he knew when they started their relationship because he corrected her. And he's saying and on the court, on the stand, he said he was correcting her when they met. But as I'm reading this text, it sounds like he was correcting Ashley when they started this relationship. What do you guys think? Terrence Bradley said, I might be one of only, not even Chris Campbell. So I'm assuming he's talking about he's the only one that really knows. And maybe Chris Campbell knows. Okay. Reason why he knows, Terrence Bradley knows, is because it sounds like him and Terrence Nathan and Terrence was really cool. They were like homeboys. As he goes, I'm always almost done with my motion. I'm not filing you. I think that's a typo. I'm not filing you till Monday. Go home and sleep. I can send you a draft. Can't wait to hear about your trip. So I'm assuming this guy went on the trip. Terrence goes, okay, happy hunting, LOL. Now, the next day at 10 o'clock in the morning, to your knowledge, has Nathan ever prosecuted a felony? I can't find a single one. Now they're trying to prove, now Ashley is on the hunt. Okay, so they had this sexual impropriety, and it's a question about the date. Now we're questioning, or they've been questioning, how much experience does he have in prosecuting people? And Terrence Bradley goes, never in his life has he ever prosecuted a felony. Never, ever in his life has he ever prosecuted a felony. Ashley Merchant responded, that's what I found too. It's bad. And Terrence was like, send a rough draft to me. Terrence had his hand in the pot, like, let me cook some food up. Terrence like, I want to add some seasoning. Terrence, you already added the meat and the potatoes. You want to add the seasoning too? Terrence was all up in the business. Maybe he was trying to get hired. I don't know. Terrence was like, where is my money at? Where's my cut at? Nathan ain't going to get all this money, and I'm not going to get none. So this is crazy. Terrence says, send a rough draft to me. He put me. He said, send me a rough draft. And he corrected himself, me. Terrence was like, I want to see what you got cooking. Ron King said, I told you in Atlanta, the good attorney barely know Wade name. He is equivalent of a fourth string backup attorney. He's a fourth string backup attorney. You guys, let me see if I could. If you guys want to chime in, you can. I'll put the link if you want to come up and talk. That's the stream link. I would just suggest make sure you cut down the interference with your you have to turn your volume down because you'll get a lot of feedback. Anyway, so Terrence was like, send me the draft because I want to read it. I want to read it. He want to get the juicy information. That's what Terrence was like. Send me the draft. Send me the draft. So she sent it to it. Terrence Bradley says, it's okay. Add me to footnote 15 and how much I made. Okay. He put add me to the footnote and how much I made. Ashley Merchant was probably trying to protect his identity until, because she probably just didn't want to blow it up. But he said, add me to the foot draft and a footnote 15 and how much I made. I took you out. I can't add it back. Good point. And he said, yes, add it back. Anything else? Anything that isn't accurate? Okay. Remember during the testimony, Ashley was saying, do you remember saying this to me? And he's like, no, I don't remember. Terrence played her for a fool. Terrence, he backtracked. He did a 180 turn, 180 degree turn from his text messages. He was cooking up the pot, add his own seasoning to it. And then when it was time to serve the food, he acted like he didn't know what was being cooked up. Like, come on, Terrence. Terrence, you made this dinner. You ain't gonna eat. Like, come on now. So she said, anything else? Terrence responded, no, it looks good. That's what he responded. It looks good. And she loved it. She put a love on the looks good. Okay. Ashley asked them then, like, how do you think they will respond? I'm trying to anticipate. Terrence giving her more information. Did you look at the campaign contributions? Did you look at the campaign contributions? I can't remember what we gave her when she was running. Is this in order? It looks like it. Yeah. She just ignored that, or they took that out. Okay. Because the text jumps from 1209 to 1231. Okay. I don't know if she just ignored it or what, but she did not respond. She goes to say, how will they react to this? Attack me, give the stupid no fear or favor speech. Ashley Merchant, Ashley, come on now. You got to know what black people will say. Oh, you just saying that because I'm black. That's duh. Like, she a black woman. The first DA black woman, right? Am I correct? She's the first DA black woman. If she's on her high horse, she's gonna say, you don't like me because I'm black. You just doing this because I'm black. You're doing this because Nathan Wade is black. That's just a normal way a person would defend themselves. Come on now. You did this because I'm black. Come on. Actually, you didn't have to anticipate that. So Terrence didn't even answer that question. He says that's another conversation. Sonia Allen. No, they will deny it. No way. She says, no way. They won't attack you. OMG. I'm not for sure what she's responded to, but she said, OMG. They will say those trips and cruises were for work, even though he didn't submit them for reimbursement. LOL. Sonia, I keep trying to figure out where she fits in the puzzle. Terrence says, yes, they're going to deny it. No, duh. Why would you admit to that? Like, but they didn't deny that. They end up, I knew, what's her name? Fani Willis was going to admit to the relationship. I think she's too stuck in her arrogance to admit, to tell you any details, because she's like, I'm not on trial. Donald Trump and his co-conspirators on trial. I didn't try to overturn an election result, just like what she said in the courtroom. So she feels like it's none of your business what her and Nathan Wade did. That's how she feels. Anyway, he goes to say, do you know when she was elected, he was on her executive team and was part of all interviews for people she hired and fired? Oh, I didn't know that. That's something new. They still would deny it. Ashley Merchant says, I did hear that, but I didn't include it because I didn't have any proof. Was he just not paid for that? I'm not sure if anyone from the office will verify. I am shocked she paid him so much. How did they think they wouldn't get caught? So careless. Why not just not pay Nathan? I'm not for sure why she said it like that. Why not just not pay Nathan? Lord, I don't know. And Terrence Bradley says it's arrogance. She thought she could, since she's the DA, she thought she could get away with it. And yeah, she's very arrogant. But I'm curious. They brought up when Nathan Wade, Terrence Bradley, initially when they first took the stand, the prosecuting team tried to make a case where they split their contracts a third since they were in business together. Everyone gets a third of any contracts that they put in. And I guess after they take out the expenses. So, but they didn't really get in detail what's the expenses. They really tried to prove that, and you know what? I don't know why they was brought that up, because it doesn't matter. If I'm in a business with you and I get contracts because I'm dating Fani Willis, it still enriches me, even though I had to split it a third, because I'm bringing contracts to the other partners of the firm. But if you notice, Chris, the other guy, we didn't see him. He was never called to the stand. I guess because Terrence Bradley said he won't admit to anything. So he would have been a bad witness. Even though Terrence Bradley ended up being a bad witness. He had amnesia. I guess he fell on his head. I'm just reading some of your comments. How Paisley said, how did Terrence not know how much he made? I think he did. I think they knew how much each other was making, because Terrence was part of the whole ordeal before he ended up leaving the firm, because they split everything in a third. Or you know what? Probably on the stand, I'm not for sure. I forget about that line of questioning, if he had amnesia then. So I'm not for sure. he had amnesia a lot during this last round of questioning. Anyway, Ashley Merchant says that's the thing. Even without evidence of sex, he paid for her plane tickets and her travel. Subpoena them all. So Terrence is like, subpoena them all. You know, they got to testify. Ashley Merchant said, I am nervous. This is huge. And Terrence Bradley said, you are huge. You'll be fine. With Terrence, are you trying to flirt with her or something? Or they just pals? Oh, you're huge. You'll be fine. You trying to give your friend support. But then, after all this happened, they probably talk to each other after this whole case is over. And so, Ashley, if they're real friends, Ashley's probably going to be like, Terrence, why you do that to me? Terrence going to be like, you know how it is in the Black community. I got to be able to show my face in this Black community. I didn't want to be a snitch because snitches get stitches. Terrence Bradley says, you are one of the best lawyers I know. Go be great. Okay, so Terrence is giving her a pep talk. Ashley asked him, did security accompany them on their out of town personal trips? Not out of town. Why would she need security out of town? Nobody knows her, Especially, I guess you could, if you go on to Napa Valley, you're like God to them. You're prosecuting Trump. That's the most liberal place you could go to. Now, some other places like Texas, maybe, you probably need some security, maybe, because there's some liberal parts of Texas too. Okay. But would to our office or dinner? So Terrence is saying the escorts will, or not escorts, but security team will follow her to to her office or dinner. Excuse me. Ashley responds, oh, okay, thanks. I may subpoena the detail, but wasn't sure if it would help much. Those guys know it all. Yes, but they change. You need to subpoena her original detail and current detail. You really want the guys when she was initially elected. So he's telling her where to look. Ashley, you have somebody, in from, what is it called? The ops. Terrence Bradley. Is he the ops? Is he considered the ops? The words that the kids be using. You messing with the opposition. Terrence Bradley's the ops, and he's trying to direct her where to look. Then she texts Tia Green. Who is Tia Green? And her. Yes, but may lie. So Tia Green is loyal to Fani Willis. She's going to lie. Ashley Merchant says, yeah, that's why I'm trying to get as many people on my list of potential witnesses as possible, hoping McAfee gives me a hearing. Let's see what they say under oath. Who is her chief investigator? So she sends some type of link. And Terrence respond, capers, no. I think Baez is the one for anti-corruption. And he's married to her executive assistant. Okay. Oh, and Ashley says, oh, damn. Yes, Baez would know. All might lie. So they're saying all might lie on the stand for Fani Willis. All might lie. So Ashley goes, other than the security detail, can you think of anyone else who can confirm their romantic relationship? Obviously, leaving you and Chris out of the mix, maybe her kids, other co-workers. Ashley's don't leave the kids out of it. Leave the kids. Her kids, yes. Her command staff, Dexter, her administrative assistant, and he liked all that, or she liked all that, and then she sent another district attorney operation team. Dexter Bond, this guy would know if I subpoena him. And then she put Tia Green again. I wonder did I get this out of order? Yeah, it was kind of out of order. So Terrence Bradley says Daisha knows, that's one of her besties. I don't know how she couldn't. Yeah, I would be angry because Daisha doesn't get paid as much as Nathan. Please tell me Lauren McCauley doesn't know. I want her not to be involved, and Adam. I hope they don't know. Adam know, Lauren know, they probably know, but not definitely. Yeah, probably assume like everyone else does. They're too high up to know. They're too high up not to know, but they will say they don't know because they never been in a setting before. Been in that setting, I guess. They will skate around if they haven't been inside the bedroom. It will be comical to see them try to explain the Caribbean cruise away, even if they are friends. He paid for her cruise. That's illegal. So now they're just chit chat. So right now it seems as if they're trying to get, or Ashley is trying to get more witnesses because she already filed the motion to dismiss, and that was on January 6th. So, I mean, these text messages, he goes and talked to her till January the 28th, and then all of a sudden he's saying that, oh, I have amnesia. What are you talking about? Like, come on, dude. Now you have amnesia? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. That's out of order because I already read that. Okay, so on the 11th, it says, first, are you okay? Next, do you have an address for the East Point pad or maybe a name for the lady who owned it. I do not. Let me see. Any leads will be helpful. Thank you. Do an open records request of all people hired when Fani took office and who was fired around June 22nd. If you get that, I will be able to give you the name. So now they're looking for Urity's name, Robin Urity's name. Thomas Ricks was her security. Do an open records request. Oh, so she liked that. It was someone who worked for her. Damn. She hired her girlfriend like her bestie. So Terrence Bradley knew Robin Urity was her friend. It's funny. Terrence Bradley never really said he was friends with Fani, but he knows a lot of information about Fani. And I could see Terrence Bradley, you see how he was sitting looking mad in, on the stand, like if looks could kill. He's probably one of those types that really don't say much of anything. He just sit and observe. So he's one of those fly on the walls. You probably don't pay attention to him. But he knows what's going on. That's what Terrence Bradley's seen. He's very observant through these text messages. I'm not for sure. He had amnesia throughout the hearing, so I'm not for sure. But based off these text messages, it sounds like he knows a lot, only because of Nathan Wade and his observation. I'm hoping that Nathan Wade is not a gossiper. Like, what the hell are you gossiping about? You kissing and telling. Only reason why I'm saying that is like how Terrence Bradley says he wasn't really friends with Fani Willis. He just knew of her, because of Nathan Wade. In a professional manner. I'm assuming Fani Willis said she paid Terrence Bradley through Cash App. So I guess they were acquaintances. Let's say that. Okay. And then Terrence Bradley said it was her place. And Ashley says, oh, she hired the man and his girlfriend owner D it. Green was her security as well. I don't know what that means, D it. Does Fani know about Sonia Allen affair? About the Sonia Allen affair? Yes, that's her. That's the East Point apartment person. She is key. Thank you. She also knows all about the media company payments. Not sure if Fani knew about him and Sonia. I'm kind of unclear what this text is talking about. Is Sonia Allen is not that's not the councilwoman. That's not the same person, is it? No. Anyway, he's saying that's the bestie, but no, it's not. Have you spoken to her, Robin? Okay, so now he's saying Robin. No, but I found her name because I did an open records request for a media company Fani hired to track her media. She was monitoring it, and then they yanked her privileges, so I figured it went bad. Yes, she was fired. My main question has always been, how did Sonia feel about Fani taking her man? Who is Sonia? So was Nathan Wade dating Sonia? Is that what they're saying? Not sure how she felt or feels. Her and Nathan are extremely close now. It started romantic, but when I left, it was more brotherly, sisterly. But occasionally they would mess around. So Nathan was sleeping with everybody. That's what it sounds like. Nathan was sleeping with everybody. Like she need to fire Nathan, but she won't. That's what's Terrence. Yep. No, she won't. But she doesn't dispute it. She will go down in flames for Nathan. Did you see this? Did we see what? And she attached. Oh, he attached a file about the news about Fani Willis first time speaking about the allegation. And he sent her image. Yep, she all but admitted to the relationship. She told her defense she isn't going to deny the affair, but now she is flawed and he is qualified. Today did not go well for her. Not sure who advised her to do that, but it backfired. Okay, so they're talking about when she went to the black church. I hated her pandering to the black church. He was good enough for the white Republicans in good old Cobb County, but not good enough for me. What's the difference? That burned me up. I'm not for sure what he means by that. Do you guys know what he's talking about? I hated her pandering to the black church. Okay, I get that. He was good enough for the white Republicans in good old Cobb County, but not good enough for me. What's the difference? That burned me up. I'm not for sure what he's saying. Ashley still thinks that she's gonna not deny it. She asks him, do you still think she is going to deny? Terrence Bradley says no. Too many people saw their interaction. Me too. I think they'll admit it. How much was Cross paid in the other special prosecutor? Cross 250, Floyd 150. They went to Australia in December. OMG, they went to Belize, Australia, Bahamas, Napa Valley, and Panama City Beach. Royal Caribbean and Norwegian cruise. Happy birthday. Love the pics. And he says, thank you. Just checking in on you. I'm going to be sending subpoena for a 215 hearing. I hope it doesn't go that far, but I need to be prepared. This is on January the 24th, you guys. January 24th. Now, the hearing happened on the 15th of February. But January the 24th, they was talking to each other. I think you're right, Rome. I think he was trying to flirt with Ashley. But I don't think he was lying. I think he gave information. He wasn't lying, but he gave the information because he wanted more than what she was just fishing for information. But I still truly believe they all know each other and they actually are friends. Or maybe Nathan Wade was, I'm not Nathan Wade, but what's this guy named Terrence Bradley was kind of mad at the time. So on January the 25th, Ashley respond or text Terrence saying, I'm subpoenaing Chris Campbell, Nathan's office staff. I fear it would look suspicious if I don't also subpoena you, but I plan on putting Nathan and Fani on the stand and only have others under subpoena for backup. I will leave you out, but think if I don't subpoena you, it will look fishy. What do you want me to do? Terrence says, I'm okay with it. Terrence said, I'm okay with it. This was on January the 24th at 10:07 a.m. What happened, Terrence? Terrence, what happened? Terrence, what happened? Terrence, like, he got on stage and he got cold feet. He started denying everything. He was like, shoot, the devil is a lie. You ain't gonna get me to tell. Like, this is blocked under attorney-client privileges. So he said, I'm okay with it. It is my hope they do the right thing before then. Terrence says, you are my friend and I trust you. They will not. They're arrogant as F. She thinks she won the other day when she didn't have to be deposed. Ashley said, that wasn't a win. Thompson set them up. Nathan can admit all on the 31st, and if he doesn't, then Thompson will make Fani sit. He basically gave Nathan a chance to protect her, but if he doesn't tell all, then Fani will have to sit. Nathan finances make it look like he owed a lot of money when he began this. Owed to who? Not true. And Ashley says loans. And she questioned the not true. It may just be convenience. He was highly leveraged. That's on paper. What do you mean? And the text stopped. The text stops. We don't know what it means. Like I said, in my last streams, Nathan, Fani, and Terrence, the IRS is probably going to be looking at them. They probably get audited in the next go around. And they probably audited them now because they're listening to this and they're probably like, yeah, these fools is telling on themselves they don't pay their taxes and they don't file complete returns. That's what it sounds like. And Terrence Bradley says that's on paper. Ashley said, what do you mean? Ashley, that's a black thing. That's a black thing. It's a black thing when you don't file complete returns. Ashley don't have a clue how the hood works. She don't have a clue how black folks work in the hood. So especially so innocent. She thinking everybody on the up and up. This was January the 24th. And 20 days later, was it the 15th or the 16th they had the hearing started? Your boy, Terrence Bradley, had amnesia. He couldn't remember any of this stuff. Any of these things that they were talking about. Lexi said, I own 3 German Shepherds. Never have I seen them have, they look the mad dog Bradley. You own 3 German Shepherds and they never look like Mad Dog Bradley because he looked like a pit bull. Bradley was mad as hell on that stand today. Like, I don't know what happened to my stream. It kicked me out. But anyway, hopefully you guys are still there. It kicked me out. I don't know why it did that. Okay, so let's see what they're talking about. I wanted to show you guys a couple of memes that they got on Fani. They roasting her live. They roasting Fani live. Let me just share this with you. Okay. If you guys
Was that he never?
this is funny. This is what's the guy's name? Don Lucra. It says DA Fani Willis is currently becoming very distressed and worried in closing arguments to decide if she will be disqualified and possibly disbarred. This is hilarious, you guys.
What Mr. Wade indicated to the court. And when, I guess after Ms. Willis moved into the condo in April of 2021, they appeared 35 times. Now, I want to make clear to the court, both Ms. Willis and Mr. Wade never denied that he had been to that condo before. The specific testimony that was elicited by Ms. Willis and Mr. Wade was that he had never laid his head, was the direct quote, at that condo, which these records don't prove that he laid his head anywhere. If you were to believe the analysis, or if you were to give credence to what the non-expert said, what Mr. Wade indicated to the court, and
you see her look. You guys see her look? She was like, what in the world is he talking about? That's a mama look. Like, boy, you sound stupid. like, boy, if you don't sit yourself down. Like, I didn't tell this little boy to say this. I told you to practice your lines. That's what she looked like. She looked like, I told you to practice your lines and you didn't. This is another one, you guys. It says if Judge McAfee, he spelled McAfee wrong, disqualifies DA Fani Willis, it will likely delay Donald Trump and Young Thug case from going to trial this year and could lead to their charges being tossed altogether. I don't think they're gonna toss Young Thug stuff. No, I don't see what one has to do with the other. Is Fani Willis, is Nathan on that trial too? I doubt it. Anyway, Judge McAfee stated today that it could take up to 2 weeks to make his decision on Fani Willis case. The first day of March, we just getting started. He typed it wrong. Anyway, so what is this about? This looks like a music video. Okay, I'm not interested in that. I don't even think that's funny. This is, I guess that's Young Thug music, maybe. It's kind of whack. Okay, I don't listen to that type of music. So Benny Johnson posted that Fani Willis lawyer, Miss Wade, excuse me, Miss Willis. I didn't catch that
cases, though she could, as well as large-scale cases like this one and much larger. And they also, there's a lot of high-profile prosecutions. If Miss Willis's ultimate goal by hiring Mr. Wade was for her financial benefit, then she would put Mr. Wade on every single one of those cases. Though she could certainly revel in the riches and lavish lifestyle that has been referred to by defense counsel, as well as large-scale cases like this one and much larger. And they also, there's a lot of high-profile prosecutions. If Miss Willis's ultimate.
So this guy, he was so nervous. I feel sorry for him. Get noticed with Nikki. She's saying his mind is already made up. Yeah, you could pretty much say this judge, he has to say, I'm going to take 2 weeks to think about it and examine all the evidence, and you gave me a lot to think about. Like, no, they didn't give you, literally, they didn't give you a lot to think about, especially on the prosecuting side. They just like, this guy done fumbled the whole, he fumbled. So it was horrible. I would be so shocked if the judge ruled in Fani's favor. I will be floored. Now, it would be some stuff in the game if this judge ruled against Fani or for Fani. I will be so surprised. Anyway, let's see what else they got.
As you would like. Obviously, I've allowed the same over an hour and a half for argument to be divided amongst themselves as they've already agreed. And so to effectuate that, I'll have the time queued up, and we'll start the clock running, and y'all can see fit to divide that.
Okay, that was his opening statement. This was Trump attorney. I mean, he, like I said, he made a really good case.
Ever. They can. No one knew that there was a relationship between Wade and Willis, according to Wade and Willis. Not a soul was ever told that they were dating or that there was an intimate relationship. Ever. They concealed it from all parties. From Daddy. Daddy didn't even know they had a relationship. Suggest that somehow in the beginning of 2021, January to whatever it was into April, that they couldn't have met in Hapeville. They didn't meet anywhere that would allow the public to see them.
That's a good point.
Able to continue.
This was horrible. This part of the argument was horrible. She could have, I guess, financially benefited from stretching out the case, for the lack of better words. Why would you even say that?
Was never shown. And all the while, Ms. Willis, facing these costs, has been able to continue to do the work unrelated to this case, which is shown in the fact that Atlanta's murder rate and violent crime rates have decreased while she has been in office. What was shown through the testimony of all of the witnesses and through the evidence that Your Honor heard was that there wasn't an actual conflict, that the defense failed to provide any sort of actual conflict in relation to Ms. Wade's, I guess, the relationship that transpired from the relationship between her and Mr. Wade, and that there was absolutely no evidence of a financial benefit that she gained as it relates to the prosecution of this case and the ultimate outcome of the case. The corroboration of all of that is the things that Your Honor is very much aware that she could have, I guess, financially benefited from stretching out the case, for lack of better words, by the special grand jury recommended that 39 individuals be indicted. But through her sifting through the special grand jury's report and all of the evidence with the team that indicted the case, they only went with 19 of the defendants, which, had she gone with all 39, based on the defense counsel's assertions, would have given her the opportunity to certainly find these financial gains that are claimed through the allegations of defense counsel.
I mentioned this earlier. This guy is like watching paint dry. What the hell are you talking about? Fani Willis is probably right now shitting in her pants. Like, why in the world did we get this guy? Who picked this guy?
Hear more of how some of the legal arguments apply to what has already been presented. Now I think both sides have made requests to reopen the evidence. On behalf of the defense, there were some issues with cell phone records, and the state has found an additional witness that they would like to present. And the instruction I provided on Tuesday was that for today, I think we've reached the point where I'd like to hear more of how some of the legal arguments apply to what has already been presented. And it may already be possible for me to make a decision without those needing to be material to that decision. So that's why we're here today. I wanted to make sure we held this time because it is a bit of a logistical challenge to get everyone in a room together. But recognizing that, again, in the interest of efficiency, if both parties want to reserve part of their time to argue as if those proffered exhibits have been admitted. Feel free to make whatever arguments you would like. And if, in fact, it turns out that I do need those to be part of the record to make a decision, then we'd have to come back, and we will do those in accordance with the rules of evidence.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. There you have it. Fani is, I believe she's on her way out. You know, I don't see any way around this. I think she's on her way out. It's a lot of Democrats that's going to be mad as hell. The people that really hate Trump, they're going to be mad as hell when the ruling comes against them. And, you know, they want to prosecute Trump so bad. They don't want Trump to be president so bad. You know, they're just trying to do anything to stop the election, you know, and they don't want Trump on the ballot, period. They want to make sure Trump is not on this ballot. Anywho, it doesn't look like it's going to turn out in their favor. Anywho, this seems very serious. I don't know how serious it is. I think it's just one of those things that it's going to turn out the way it's going to turn out. Hanging AZ, some of the questions he asked the boring lawyer seemed pretty telling. Lexi, now we wait 2 weeks for the judge who gave Fani campaign money. What a farce. I don't know. Like I said, I could see if the guy gave her a lot of money. He only donated $150 to her campaign. Is because they all know each other. Now, if he would have gave her $5,000, then I would be questioning. Oh, he must really like her, or be in her corner if he gave her a bigger campaign contribution. I would be questioning. But to me, he seems pretty fair. I don't know. That's just on how I feel. Anyway. Rome said no one wants a DA who lies for a relationship. What else would she lie about because her boyfriend lie is so petty? Well, you know, I think as far as the DA concerned, I think, you know what? I just don't think they're going to take it that far. I don't think she's going to be. I think she will be under investigation. I think she will go before the ethics committee or the board. But for some reason, I don't think, and I think they're going to remove her from this case, but I don't think she's going to lose her spot as the DA. I mean, if she does, they're going to force her to step down, if anything. You know, not Republicans, but Democrats, they are so, I want to say self-righteous. They feel like they have a right to be there, and they could do no wrong. In the arrogance, like Terrence Bradley said, they're very arrogant, you know. And for some reason, I don't think she would, like, she should just step down for the greater good. If you really trying to save the country, quote unquote, just step down from this case, or take a leave of absence. Like somebody suggested that she should take a leave of absence and let this all blow over. Let somebody else come in as an acting DA and then come back and see how your career is. You probably won't have none. You know, it'll probably take a lot for you to get it back, but I don't know. That's just my own personal opinion. So you guys, thank you for tuning in. You know, we've been going at it an hour and a half. I was online for about 4 hours this morning, and then I end up taking a nap. That's why I'm on late, because I end up falling asleep, and I was like, oh my God, oh crap, I forget. I was supposed to come on at 8:30 today. But anyway, I'm here. So Monday, I'm pretty sure that we're going to talk about something. I don't know if it's going to be Fani Willis, but we'll be talking about something. And you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. It all depends on what shakes out tomorrow. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow on something, but I'm not planning to. Okay, so you guys enjoy your weekend. I really appreciate every single last one of you. I am sending all my good to you. I will talk to you soon.